Remember, folks, please comment responsibly. Sit down, and before you type out, I don't like this story, you shouldn't be reading it, is all you do complain? Why are you riffing? Stop riffing! Stop whining! Stop complaining! Just remember, you clicked on it, you made the choice. And think about for a few seconds, is this really what I wanted to do with my day? Watch a who knows how long video and listen to a riff that I didn't even like? Or would you like to sit down and be proven wrong by commenting on Last of the Dragon Lords, featuring a Liam Neeson impersonation? Love Marries a Scootaloo, a romantic comedy, or so many more. You really don't have to. You don't have to do this. So why put yourself through the trouble when you know I rate good fics? They're right there. I don't even complain to them. But yet, people think all I do is complain. Well, guess what? Here's a good analogy. If you step into a fertilizer company and look for nothing but shit, you're gonna find, surprisingly enough, nothing but shit. But if you go to a place that has both fertilizer and flowers, if you look for the flowers, you're gonna find flowers. It's a miracle, isn't it? For the rest of you, welcome back to Dark Side of Dimensions. Or Darkness of Dimensions, I keep getting those two titles mixed up. Let's begin. Several days had passed since the ponies had gone missing, and all of Equestria was still searching frantically for any clues that could lead to where they went. Of course, then they found out they were at the vacation. Discord was easily the most irritated. He had been staying at Friendship Castle all this time, and inside the castle was starting to look desolate, like a hurricane had hit it. Tables and chairs were all tipped over, smelly socks hung from the ceiling. Ozzy no wore socks. You know, as funny as this is, doesn't he have a home in place? Dirty Dishes in place laid about, all kinds of decorations and costumes and other things Discord uses acts laid about, like door and furniture. Discord himself looked shriveled and disheveled after having watched over the place for so many days, having been all on his own at time. No interactions with anyone but clones by himself, which got so boring it hurt. He just sat on a magic couch in filthy bathrobe and snoring loudly, when suddenly woke up by a small disc sliding off unbalanced the table that crashed. Hi! Discord shouted. Pulled it right up, looked ready to fight. He was all alone. Cronus held his head. I guess we should clean this place up. His Hermione's voice spoke to him. Yeah, even it looks clearer than this. Hey, watch it, Discord. He said to himself, you're talking to yourself again, and not in a good way. Before he could actually do anything, the main foyer doors creaked open, making Discord freeze on the spot. He turned around, and there, he couldn't believe his eyes, were Twilight Sparkle and Starlight Glimmer, finally home. Starlight, Twilight, he cried. You're finally home. This is so neat. Oh, I'm saved. I don't believe He stopped when he noticed it wasn't them, and then proceeded to realize that it was actually to cast a Fox Machina. Oh, I see. You finally decided to quit. Quit. Well, if you're going to quit, so am I. Oh, Dissy, no, baby, please! What? I'm going to be boring in this fic anyway. We all know, instead of doing anything chaotic or anything crazy or silly, I'm just going to be like, oh, here's some exposition. Oh, here's some more exposition. I'm just going to exposit, dully. Not going to do anything just chaos. And just going to be boring. And there's one thing I'm not. It's boring. So if you want to see something interesting, if you want to see somebody read these lines, you're going to have to find somebody new. As for me, I'm headed to the Bahamas. Dissy, come back, please. They walked right in, still not saying a thing. Vex almost looked like she wanted to. Jester almost looked like she wanted to cry. That was merely due to the onions. Okay, what am I going to get here? Where's my Rolodex? Wait, him? Oh, well, I suppose if anybody would be able to be, mess with the laws of Micah's world or be awesome and prove Micah wrong in so many ways, it would be him, and it would actually be kind of cool to bring him in. But well, might as well do this job. Okay, said Sasuke. He didn't figure maybe if he tidied the place up, he'd snap out her woes. And using his shower gun powers, the Kaya Castle was put right again, inside and outside. Everything was back where it was. All the furniture set right back up. The outside of the castle looked like it should. You need to thank me, Sasuke called out. But still, everyone did acknowledge him. It looked gloomier than ever. If only he had known what the girls had been through. At least seeing they were too upset to talk. It's not best to leave them and settle in. At least it meant he could finally leave the castle. He also realized maybe the others are back too. He left the castle and went to every possible location he could. Certainly enough, all the girls had returned. Yet every single one of them had the exact same expressions of gloominess, Twilight, Vex, and Jester did. Ruby, her short hair was all flattened down, and wearing her pretty red coat flapping in the breeze as he looked around the brand new bakery, happier than ever. In Caroline, though the entire village city! It is a small city! Okay. Mike, I know you're out there. I know you're watching. There is a difference between a village and a city. A small village is about a few houses, like 5 or 6. Small, enclosed, teeny. A town is a whole bunch of houses with a mayor. That's Ponyville. A city is a whole bunch of houses and buildings. And it's usually what you call something that's located near the fucking capital! Yeah, right there. The capital. Say it with me now. Village. Town. City. There's also a few more differences around town if you look at Google Maps, but it's not a village! The place was pretty quiet, and all the ponies were going about their daily lives. When Sasuke questioned why, the princesses were pretty upset on their return. They especially requested to be allowed to peace. No celebration, no excitement, no nothing. They refused to speak what happened. Vex was just relaxing in Rarity's home, fixing up the dresses, helping everything out, fixing things up, looking around, enjoying it. Sasuke wanted to go outside and talk to her, but sleep out in the other Crusaders came along in the moment and urged him not to. Do we need to? Just asking. No, you cannot leave. I'm going to keep at least some members of the MLP cast in here. Oh, come on, lights on fire! Yeah! Girls, you're never in a bad fic. He's right, we usually are just regulated to mere mentions. Yeah, I guess it's about true. Okay, we're saying. I never seen Manny so upset and won't even tell me what's wrong. Applejack's no bear. He had to come out of her room since he got home a couple hours ago. I would think the Applejack would prefer to be working out all the time in order to push her emotions away, but hey, that's just me. I noticed that. People Tabs actually opened up with me, says Gulu. All the others got there. Discord frankly glared her eyes. If you know something, tell me. Tell me what's bothering her and everyone else. All the girls were a little sinking, astonished by his attitude, obviously being overly worried and concerned for the ponies all the time, as well as being shut up in the castle for all those days that affected him. Nevertheless, Skulu explained what Rainbow had told her about the portal malfunctioning, the world she had gone to, and Yuasa and friends. But most of all, she told her about the Dark Zone. Everybody come down to DZ, the Dark Zone! Okay, we've done some obscure references before, but the Discovery Zone? Yeah, you're gonna have to be a 90s kid to get that one. And how Spike was there, and how he and his friends were rather short with the ponies in the other groups. This made the others realize and understand the ponies' feelings. And it was they would, but unfortunately, everybody else, all the ponies left this channel. Wasn't a scene in Spike River couples, he rejected him, and should have respected that decision, but nope. It felt to be horribly rejected and crushed. Really? Because all that happened was that she was just told to leave. That wasn't a rejection, that was just a go away. What Spike had was a rejection. This was just go away. There is a difference. Gosh, even I'm not that harsh. I am? Nah. All understood. The four agreed the best to do was leave the ponies be and let them get it out of their systems. Maybe then it would be easier to talk to them. Still, Sasuke couldn't help but walk off. Where are you going? I need to see something. I went out the fireside to see how she was handling things. Tree Hugger was kind of impressed to see Keyleth. Sasuke didn't too close. You could see through her telescope. She was outside but looking down hard. She was sitting on a log with birds, squirrels, and all around trying to comfort her. Angel snuggled into her lap. I would make a comment about the meanie Angel not again showing up in this. But I do believe Keyleth could probably tame Angel. This girl lowered her telescope. And for once, he decided best to just let Fluttershy have her space for a while. In the Titans world, ooh! Thank you! I love getting to this show early. You can see more stars twinkling over paradise, an island, than you can any other part of Earth. The stars have more meaning here, each given the name of still worship gods that we have banished to the dusty tomes of mythology. The air is fresher here, crisper here, more alive here, has hidden away in the folds of the Bermuda Triangle, away from man's follies, man's wars. The Amazons have kept hold of some of the dream that the best of mankind have long ago lost. Temple of Athena. She's been praying in that temple all day now. I'm worried, Arius. What if she fails? She won't. Hippolyta's words have swayed the deafest of gods. Nissa, do you know what it is you called upon was Athena herself? Not in my lifetime has Hippolyta requested such a private audience. I wish I knew. All Apollo would tell me is Hippolyta has prayed for days for success. If it's for battle strength, I am ready to lay down my wife for our queen. I do not think so, Pallas. Your armies will not draw sword from the scabbard tonight. No, Tira, I agree. I believe our queen is thinking of matters closer to her heart. And let us pray with her for success. If Hippolyta wishes it, then so do we all. DC Comics section presents the new Teen Titans in We Are Gathered Here Today. Children run through a large mansion until they reach the edge. Watching a giant procession of people gathering for a huge reception for a massive wedding. Sets up are being made. Studio lights, banquet tables, everything. New York's famed East Hampton and the estate of Steve Dayton, the world's fifth richest man. Hey, buddy, where did these go? Well, let's see. That's not food, is it? No, it's for the musician. Mr. Logan, I need you. That's the band, right? Yeah, over there with the rest of their stuff. Please, God, let me survive this night. I have a nervous breakdown, but I haven't scheduled in the time. I have 3 vans with union drivers on overtime waiting to unload their flowers. Where would you like them, sir? I told you when I ordered them in the courtyard. Mr. Logan, the lights get dim to any of the 312 computerized settings. No, no, no! That's not where I want them! The strobes are to spotlight the dance floor. The pinks are to add warmth to the ceremony. Where would you like to put your greens? The leafy, you don't want to know. Sir, I insist I have come to the correct address. Mr. Caulfield Logan supplied me for the entertainment for this ceremony. I'm sorry, sir, but I don't have any more information. Oh no, is Garfield done now? Mr. Bonzo, I legally changed my name to Bonzo the Clown. How long ago was it, Fluffykins? 3 years now, Father. 3 years now. Mr. Bonzo. No, just Bonzo, or Bonzo the Clown. No, mister. Yes, Bonzo. I'm certain your services are engaged by to believe. Bonzo, I was wondering when you would so. When you hire Bonzo the Clown, you hire punctuality. Mr. Logan, a clown at your wedding? At the wedding? I don't do believe. Quester, don't understand. There's been about 15 really young kids coming. Bonzo's going to entertain them on the West Wing so the adults can enjoy themselves. Good thinking, sir. Quite good thinking. Logan, are you going to look over these figures? Mr. Logan, the pastry chef needs to see you. Listen, kid, my men want triple time before they move that machinery there. Stop! Let me think! Mr. Logan, permit me to lend assistance. I have knowledge of handling these affairs. No thanks, Quester. Donna and Terry are counting on me. You'll hardly something if you work yourself to death. Go upstairs and shower. You can take over once you're done. Yeah, maybe you're right. I need to calm down. If I hear Mr. Logan one more I need you, I'll scream! Mr. Logan. I will be dealing for Mr. Logan for all your questions. Before we begin, let me assure you that Mr. Logan is your employer, no matter how young his age. You will not address him in a rude or nasty manner again. Do you understand? Easy, Mac. I didn't mean nothing. Nevertheless, if you speak to Logan thusly, I shall personally tap touch on your spleen. You trust your gentleman to understand that. Now, to your problems. Elsewhere, in a small house, an alarm phone rings. All right, enough, Kirk. Ugh. Aileen Wilson stretches her arms and legs, wriggles her fingers and toes, drags herself out of bed, and Joseph, time to wake up. Joseph, hearing nothing from her son's room, Aileen smiles, then mounts the steps to Joseph's attic studio. Must have been up all night, she realizes, finishing the gift. Inside his studio, Joseph Wilson is painting a picture. You didn't sleep last night, did you? Mute. Joe smiles sheepishly, then beckons his mother forward. Joseph, it's beautiful. The painting of Troy and her husband, Terry, smiling against a beautiful sunset. You'd be fools not to love it. Please leave me arrange that gallery somewhere for you. Your work should be felt by everyone. But Joe shakes his head no. It's not Ray, not yet, not for a gallery show. Right now, his art for himself, his family, and friends. His art is so much a part of him, that part that's private and inside him. He's not ready to share it with the world. Elsewhere, on a small rocky pillar, Raven sits in Azarath. The sun never reaches here, nor does the comforting warmth of twinkling stars. Lightning crackles in the distance. Here in another place, there's always darkness and gloom. All too often, despair. Her name is Raven. She comes here in need of solace. Why have you done this to me, Azar? Surely before you perished, you had to know the suffering I would endure. You had to know the changes that would befall me. Azar, I hate now. Azar, I feel the urge to kill. You taught me pacifism was strength, not weakness. But you were wrong, Azar. Wrong! I feel my father's evil growing within me, and I am frightened. Frightened by my new thoughts. Thoughts of death, decay, thoughts of power. And I am frightened by these thoughts, not because I have them, but because I relish them. Help me, Azar. I desperately wish to stand beside my friend at the moment of greatest happiness. Yet, because of what I am becoming, I cannot. Forgive me, Azar. Damn me to hell. I cannot abide of what I become. Lightning crackles in the distance. Long Island Expressway Lane, commonly called the world's longest parking lot.
Sarah, thanks for helping me buy those gifts.
I love shopping, Vic. My mom said I used to buy out Bloomingdale's when I was a kid.
Didn't know your parents had money.
They don't, but they've always spent it like they do. Vic, something's wrong. Isn't there? Can't we talk?
I'm more able to with you than almost anyone else. What's Terry's family going to think when they see something like me at the wedding? I stand out like Boy George at a Marine boot camp. And most people stare at me like I'm the groom Frankenstein's bride rejected.
You're crazy. You're a beautiful person. Besides, didn't Gar say he had the whole secret identity problem worked out?
If only I knew what that walking cell was planning. You see, maybe Donna doesn't hide it all that much, but very few people know she's Wonder Girl.
What about Gar? He's not exactly everyday Hugh.
Donna took professional photographs of him. They're supposed to be friends, same with Corey. But there's no reason for me to be there. I could blow everything.
Meanwhile, Cindy Evans, Jennifer Long, what are you two staring at? Nothing, Mom. Just watching. Those workmen down there said beep. What does that mean? You two are getting underfoot. Back to your rooms. Oh, Jenny, your dad call. What do you want to see you doing? Well, I'll just speak to him. Yeah, you bet. It's just gonna be Mary Donna today. She's pretty. Yeah, she's my stepsister. You hear how we first met? This red car pulls up in front of our lot and...
Mr. Logan, it's time for
SD Butler heads up. He's surprised to see Beast Boy, Gar Logan, dressed extremely fancy, in a bright bummer-up vest, really nice shoes, and of course, the lapels to really make it fit out the attire. Hiya, Questor, I'm ready. Who lets you think? Am I classy or what?
I was not made aware of neon tuxedos. What happened to the black one I had Paul lay out for you?
Hello, Quester. They had no pizzazz. Oh no. Hey, the organ goes down in the courtyard. No, the flowers are all wrong. Anyone do anything without me?
He's handling himself far better than I expected. His arrangements have all been tasteful. Perhaps I judged him too harshly.
No, I want the fireworks display after the ceremony.
On the other hand, Mr. Dayton, may I enter, please? No, not now.
Inside the thinking room of Dayton.
I'm sorry, sir, but you took it right. I told you not to enter.
Quester, doesn't anyone listen to me anymore?
Mr. Dayton, I thought you promised. Don't blow the moose, man. I didn't touch it.
Next to him is an unopened bottle of alcohol.
Sir, Steve, I'm aware of your troubles, but you've have to come through. It means so much to him, considering the incident with Miss Markov.
Yeah, I know. The kid has trouble, so might have to wait. Help me get to a shower. I'll be fine after that. I won't let him down. Then we'll see if he'll great. Yeah, we have 300 rooms. I never count them all, Mr. Evans.
Call me Hank.
Jillian, my goodness, you look lovely. What was I before? The terror from beyond space? Nah, I mean, relax, sorry, I was kidding.
I was just saying to Garfield that I never thought I'd see the insides of a mansion like this.
Didn't care. Wow, you wanted the Teen Titans like Gar? You gotta be Tara, right? I read about all you guys and people. You have a great life. Oh, is it relevant? Oh, I'm not. Jillian, oh, look, it's daylight. The guests will be arriving soon. Inside one of the rooms of the massive mansion, bridesmaids get ready. Corey, look outside! It's incredible! Must have 100 cars here, even more. So many demo limousines. Didn't think anyone knew so many people. Dad's got a lot of friends, Cindy. He's one of the best people I've ever known. Corey, you're stunning. Thanks for saying that, Lilith. But I think... Now, Miss Danvers, no moving, please. Not until I have this ribbon properly set in place. There! Sharon, Benicia, or Sharon. Like an Sharon like? Except when it comes to men, I never showed them. Your turn next, Miss Tracy. Each of the girls are dressed in a splendid pink gown. Buttoned up and covered up well, so hiding everything, but showing off their delicate curves and their beauty. I'm so excited. Almost all my old friends are coming. All but Gennard. I wish he was here. I don't think you and Corey ever knew him, did you? Not as well as I wanted to, Lil. It was kind of lucky to start the answers all the way. Miss Benal, these gals you designed look so beautiful. It's Janisha now, remember? Stand straight and as you walk, you will all be magnificent. Now where's the bride? She's with her other sister, Diana. Yeah, in the back room. I think they're having girl talk. Inside said girl talk room, Diana stands behind Donna as he stares in the mirror. Diana, are you sure I look all right? Donna, you have got to be kidding. I've never seen such a beautiful bride. I'm so scared, Diana. I'm 19. Usually I feel so much older, yet now I feel like a kid again. With all the insecurities I had growing up on Paradise Island. Remember when I used to hide for hours in Athena's cave? You find me and would sit and talk all night. We hardly do that anymore, and I miss it. Am I doing the right thing? You and Steve never married. Our relationship's different from yours and Terry's, and I'm different from you. You love him? I feel a pain inside me when we're apart. They're doing exactly the right thing. I know you're going to be very happy. They're coming. Tons of them. Kiddo, you've done good. Don't say that yet, Jillian. Anything could go wrong. What if it rains? What if the food's awful? What if Donna and Terry change their minds? You wouldn't do that, would they? You know, I gotta admit, it seems like throughout a lot of these Titan stories, I keep getting to the Dick Grayson part sooner and sooner, but this is probably the longest I've gone without bringing out Dick Grayson. Can you tell that Dick Grayson's my favorite Titan? Venetia, how we're doing? The women are ready and they're beautiful. That's certainly no exaggeration. Corey, you are gorgeous. And so are you. Speaking of Dick, he steps into the room, dressed dapper and looking like Bruce Wayne reincarnated. How's Donna? She's nervous, but she's waiting for you. The door opens and Dick steps in. You look wonderful. If you weren't already spoken for, I'd take you off as my own. I'm so glad you're giving me away, Dick. I wouldn't dream of anyone else. Donna, we've gone so much together, in not all of that many years. Yet I feel like I've known and loved you all my life. Terry's a remarkably lucky man to find you. I'm the lucky one. I've known so much love, and now all my loved ones are here to share my happiest day. Dick, I love you. Come on, let's get you married. Dick embraces his sister in so many words tightly. Dwayne, meanwhile, outside in another location. Alright, everyone, look this way, please. One for the brown book. Son, we couldn't be happier. That is such a lovely girl. Terry talks to his parents. Yeah, believe me, I know. Mom, Dad, better get your seats with sis in the family. Brother Terry's gonna hang himself again. Not good job, Terry. Okay, I think this is it. Start the music. The music begins, and a deep, resonant voice is phrased in song. And first the procession starts. The flower girl, the ring bearer, a couple of more other people in the procession, the different men in waiting, the different bridegrooms, the different ways of waiting. People watch. Jericho, Roy Harper, Ollie West, Vic, our favorite Aqualad, Oliver Queen, and I'm pretty positive that's Clark Kent. Next comes the maid of honor. Terry Watson says finally, being given away with her arm in his, is Donna Troy walking side by Dick Grayson. Seriously, Dick, how are you getting so many girls? Oh, wait, I forgot, this is Dick freaking Grayson. He's got about as many girlfriends as freaking James Bond. Next to her adopted mother. Donna, so much luck. I miss you. I am so happy. It's your day now, Donna. I love you. Please come forward. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man, Terence, this woman, Donna, in the bonds of holy matrimony. A union of the most sacred order, and one not to be interred lightly. If there is anyone who could give reason why these two should not be married, let them speak now or forever hold their peace. And now, Terence and Donna will proclaim their love and commitment for each other in their own words. Donna, we were individuals with separate feelings and separate personalities.
whose unqualified love for each other makes us join as one.
Terrence, we work to make each other stronger, individual. We can only become stronger together. Our lives are enriched as we watch each other grow.
Donna, we come together to share our strengths, our thoughts, our hopes.
Terrence, we come together to share our loves, our lives, and future. We'll always be one.
Donna, I love you. I respect all that you are.
And Terrence, I embrace all that is yours, that all I am.
Everyone watches.
And this is one of those times I wish you guys could see it because the wedding party is really immense. And I couldn't be certain, but I think Marv Wolfman and George Perez drew themselves in here, but I'm not completely sure of that.
The ring, please.
Young boy, let's set the rings that are set neatly on a nice red pillow.
Terrence Arthur Long, place this ring on Donna's finger and proclaim your unity in the presence of this community. Donna, with this ring, I, Terrence, pledge myself to be your loving husband. Donna, Hinckley, Stacy, Troy, place this ring on Terrence's finger and proclaim your unity in the presence of this community.
Terrence, my beloved, this ring, I, Donna, pledge myself as your loving wife.
By the power invested in me by the state of New York, I now pronounce you, Terrence and Donna, to be husband and wife. What God has joined together, let no man bring asunder.
Doves are let loose, and Terry and Donna share a deep, passionate, long kiss as the doves continue to blow by. And you know, I hate to ruin this, but and as much as I want to do the wedding reception, because, oh my god, there's some really good character moments in the wedding reception. I mean, besides us getting to see Aqualad and all that, there's going to be some really good moments with Dick and Batman. It's just really, really good. It kind of reminds me why Marv Wolfman happens to be one of my favorite comic writers of the 80s. Because this man knows perfectly how to take multiple characters and give them all the appropriate screen time. Then again, this guy also wrote Crisis on freaking Infinite Earth, so yeah. But before I could go on to a bragging right about why I love Marv Wolfman, we got the rest of the story to do, so, yeah. Moving on. I mean, seriously, guys, I would skip this chapter and just read you nothing but the Titans story, but you didn't come here to listen to Titans. You came here to listen to me rant about a fanfic. So, here we go. So, in the fic proper, everybody checks up, the doctor checks up on the baby and then mentions that he has no idea who Beast Boy is, nor does anybody in the city, which I find to be bullshit. Because not only does he work with Doom Patrol, but people have acknowledged him. They have seen him. But in order for this to work, you have to not believe that Beast Boy isn't as famous as the rest of the Titans. And apparently, there's also no merchandise of Beast Boy at all, which I don't blame you. I mean, really, Beast Boy is just a one gimmick character. And really, nobody wants to be thinking about it, but here's the problem. Again, he would be still famous. He would still be working up. And then, of course, we get my favorite part of any Teen Titans Things Change hate fic. My best part, the most beautiful part of it all, when Mikan proceeds to destroy the town with no thought of zoning laws or how things really work, of how reality truly is. For instance, apparently the library was empty out to be made into a department store. Because that happens. I mean, libraries are like, what, 1-story, 2-story places? Nobody would do that. there would be so much protesting and angry people that they wouldn't make a dang cent. Nobody would bring it up. A curio shop that was boarded up and abandoned. How would she not notice this? They would have a going out business sale. The Poetry Cafe was now a corner hardware store. Because, gosh darn it, we need more hardware than drinks. Do you see? See what I mean? Nobody would pull this off. Because, again, zoning issues. There would be so many problems with this that it would be impossible to set all this up. Oh, and then Slade shows up and they have a rumble because Slade starts mocking her, starts insulting her. Tara's feeling bad about Beast Boy and yada, 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 yada. Oh, God. Meanwhile, in Kagome's world, she and Soto were chilling out at their table. Soto was just getting bored and more by this. I thought when I went into a hell zone, I would be more fun than that. Give me a break. We didn't bring him there willingly. We were pulled in ourselves. We couldn't control it. Seriously, it just felt odd. So you're still thinking about the Dark Angels, not just Nobunaga, but the others who were more verbally hostile towards the groups and ponies. She couldn't blame them, but she really didn't like how they were, especially Erebus. All we ever do is take Dark Aura, return here, meditate, and go back before. Sounds really boring, said Kagome. You have all that power to use, and you hardly use any of it all. What's your point? Think about it, they're not really hurting anybody, and they're not trying to hurt anyone either. They made their choice to be who they are. Maybe we ought to respect their wishes and leave them be. Didn't you just last chapter say that you didn't like them? And you thought it was boring too? Yeah, I did say that last chapter. But for terms of plot and necessity, I gotta disagree. Of course. Because, heavens knows, we need an excuse. Because remember, folks, it's not being hypocritical, it's just there to move the plot forward. She still couldn't stop thinking about it, though. Not even long into the night where she lay awake in bed, while Iwasa meditated, or trained, or was peeping on her. Aside, Kagome wasn't thinking of the Dark Angels, but the ponies of those other groups. She never got a chance to talk or get to know them, but now her eyes were really open as she thought to herself, there's so many worlds, so many different dimensions, and they all have a way of life. She rolled her back and glanced at Iwasa outside. Thought to feel there and all its wonders and mysteries. There are even more worlds out there. She knew she would never feel the same again. But she was also glad that Princess Tsuyu didn't know about Dark Zone. Who knew how hysterical she would find if she found out? In the Dizzy Destin's world, it was nearly 6 a.m. You are there. Tai and Kairi spent the night, oh my, with June. Oh. Both ladies highly devastated for the entire experience. The ladies had hardly gotten any sleep at all. June came to her room with fizzled hair and huge bags under her eyes. She looked like irate too, for Salt crying so much. Tai got his girlfriend a cup of water. This helped her a little, but she still looked beat out. I'm calling your pros. You can't go to campus like this. June was too tired and upset to think about an argument. Figured he was right. After he made the call, he sat down next to his girlfriend and comforted her. Went to the sofa and saw Kairi was asleep, with Gatomon sleeping atop the couch rim. Felt worried for her too. They had all experienced these scene. Really cared for her sister and would defend her honor. Not denying it anymore. Kairi was largely responsible for Davis' bullshit being sent to the Dark Zone. He was actually surprised he was sleeping peacefully. If anything, it's more TK because TK ended up killing Femon, but what do I know? I'm just the guy who actually pays attention. He was actually surprised as he was sleeping blissfully. Thought sure he experienced all his joys outside and awake like June did. Okay? Yeah, I'm alright. Considering we just had a horrifying experience, everyone's down to chops. You're so tired you're gonna keep your eyes open. My sister's liable to have it really hard. Yeah, I'm alright. June could barely smile as she rested her head on his shoulder, but she was too upset for Kairi or her mom. She could hear the faint sounds of her mom snoring in the big bedroom, finally falling asleep. But Kairi was starting to stir and sleep on the sofa. Nightmares he was having were replays of the experiences Dark Zone. All those things Davis showed over how badly she acted towards him, and everything else that sentenced him to his doom. All just because, oh no, she said she wouldn't date him, even though that is her choice. Women have no autonomy, damn it! Because somehow Kairi is a bitch. God, I hate Ron to death here sometimes. Take a good long look, Kairi. David steered at her. Take a good, long, fucking look! This is what you did to me! See? I can say fuck all I want, Mikey. Kairi looked at her, shook her hair fearfully. No, no. That's no excuse. You're just as dark as the darkness that you came to fight off. Darker and darker and darker and darker and darker and dark. So childlike you are. The angrier it got, the more dark aura around him flared up. His eyes flashed a shade of eerie red. Die, motherfucker! No, no! Kairi screamed as Steven blaster, and everything flashed white. Kairi gasped as she belted upright. Frightening Gatsubon fell off the couch. Oh, ever heard of an alarm clock? Kairi, cried Tai as he ran over his sister's side. She was panting and her forehead was sweating. Are you okay? Kairi shook her head. No, I'm not. She just sat there, with tears of shame falling down her face. Shameful! Darkness. She didn't notice her cell phone vibrating. Tai checked his few texts from... Brawly again? Movie 8 Brawly or reboot Brawly? Movie 8 Brawly again. Oh well! Kakarot! 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 Kakarot, Kakarot, Kakarot. Kairi didn't look up and answer, so Tai answered for her. This is Tai. Kairi's okay. Sora, she's really bummed. We all are. Brawly got the message, and now he was really worried for Kairi, and more infuriated at the entire Dark Zone concept. Way ahead of you, brother! Especially the way Davis had acted. True, he couldn't deny at least some of the images he had seen. I can! They were all dumb inventions! I realized he did play a part of them. Kakarot! He growled softly. Kakarot, 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 Kakarot! He thought of the other Dark Angels and how they balked at the other groups, not even caring about the fascinations behind the other groups. His hatred of darkness and what he deemed bad creatures was really starting to broil. Yeah, they are kind of evil. And cruel and jerks and malicious and assholes. I love that it seems like Micah wants us to believe that these people are actually really good. It's just that they're being forced into this. But, a couple of things. One, he lacks the talent to write a gray area. Two, he lacks the ability to make these guys sympathetic. And number three, he lacks the talent to actually write anything resembling these guys were good all along. Maybe we're the villains. Instead, they all come off as repentant jerks. Kakarot, 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 Kakarot! You thought back to how the Dark Angels acted so hostile, creepy towards not just groups, but life itself. Even Lord Erebus was obviously corrupted by the darkness he ruled. Duh. We are the way we are because we choose to be. Brawly felt he couldn't be fooled by this. Kakarot! Kakarot! He began to slink deeper and deeper into his illusions. He began to think that Erebus wasn't what he seemed. Really was capturing those guys and poisoning their minds to hate life, just so he could gather all this power for himself. Well, if we want to be fair, he is not gathering all this power for himself. He's just taking all this bad luck juju energy away that barely fixes things. Even though people still die, bad luck still happens, and apparently helps the heroes win, even though that doesn't always happen. They don't always come through. They sometimes get their asses handed to them. And Erebus isn't really capturing them, but he is making them stay there. He's not really doing anything other than just making them stay there. And they choose to stay there in hell, and he encourages this. He is worse than somebody who would be capturing these guys. Because at least a guy who captures them, would be honest. No. He's getting it here and encouraging it. He's like a drug runner. I'm not making you choose, but maybe if you could, he is providing this. He is helping them. So thus, yeah. The random areas he's kidnapping them, and he is holding them there. If they were to just die and go to hell, that would be fine. But nope. It's not even that they're dying of natural causes. It's just random. Dying randomly. Because of some mysterious darkness. Yeah. That is capturing! Why are we disagreeing with TK here? Cool, like when he really wanted to fight with someone. Oh no! TK actually wants to kick ass and take names? The way he behaved and bitched about how bad their lives were instead of growing a pair of balls and moving on. We're supposed to be disagreeing with TK, right, guys? We're supposed to be seeing that this isn't right? Because I'm totally on TK's side. Kakarot! Totally on TK's side here. You know what? Izzy hadn't slept all night either. Not really because he was upset about the emotional trauma everyone experienced, but he was just learned to change his life forever, more than when he first ever went to the digital world. He had spent the entire night trying to document all he had learned to his computers. Finally, his mother had just woken up. Izzy, you're already up? She said through a yawn. Yeah, I'm up. I made 2 discoveries. Can't sleep. He was sounding paranoid. Due to his weariness, his mom wouldn't have any of this. I think you should call your professors and say you wouldn't be coming to class today. Mom, I already write the lesson plans for them. They should know how to handle these class. As he tried to protest, but his mother wouldn't happen it. She pulled the tape off her son's eyes. This made Izzy feel like dropping down hard from weariness. Maybe a little sleep won't hurt. And his yawning, he was out like a light. A few days later, Kagami and Iwasa reunited with their group in Kaede's feudal era. The feudal era. Sarah's stories of the Darkstone and all that stuff. You could bet the heirs were astonished and frightened for a bit. I block off demons. My brother was put through hell. We're not scared! Those Dark Angels sound boring, said Shippo. Gilala his thoughts like feeling the same way. You think, said Sango. Many of those angels have been wandering in darkness for eons around other worlds, including our own. The afterlife is a thing of mystery, Sango, Roko said. No, the afterlife is heaven and hell. That is just oblivion. No one really knows what to expect on their time of death, where their spirit will lead. I must say, this is also incredible. The Dark Angels collect all the dark air they can from their world, and many years is folk enough. Yet they hardly do anything at all, or by themselves remain silent and still. Yeah, just what's the point? Now that I think about it, if they don't do anything with all, I just remain silent and still. What is the point of taking it? I mean, maybe if you made more light or something, but you're just sitting there and just go, I'm taking a dark aura. Where does it all go? What do you do with it? And I just know one of my riffers are going to say, you just said that they just sit there and meditate with it. You don't need anything more. Wrong. Sit down and actually think for a moment. Because these type of questions do take you out of the story. When you have a question like this, it does take you out. It makes you think a little bit too much and takes you out of the illusion. A story should take you in. It should suck you in to keep you focused. But when you start having questions like this, people stop to think and it ruins the perception. Why do you think CinemaSins gets so popular? Because some people do ask these questions. So thus, I must ask, what do they do with it other than just sit around? Is it like watching TV? You just take in the information and go, oh, that's neat. Still all about it. Wait a minute, why am I changing opinion here? Plot. Oh yeah. I can understand all your feelings, but some things cannot be tampered with. As the consequences, be faithful. You know, Kaede, some things cannot and be tampered with. This is why we should let Naraku take the Seacon Jewel. Can't tamper with it. Might upset the balance. Why we should not. Helps Sasori become a better person. Consequences could be fatal. And why we should not. Stop it when people are about to die. Consequences could be fatal. It should not help innocent people. Consequences could be fatal. Some things should not be tampered with. Which is why you should never do anything. Never help anybody. At all. Everyone has to focus there on their true objective. Find and destroy Naraku. Everyone agreed. Once again, you continue to prove that Iwasa has no point in this story. Even this little scene is just them having fun and Suyu and what Kimo just talking to each other, and Nobunaga just going, Princess, wee. Meanwhile, back with Equestria, seeing like all Twilight ever did was work on repairing the gateway. Thankfully, the damages were not hopeless. So he managed to get the mirror back in place to clean up the broken bits and pieces of the machine and gather new parts. The newest feature was that the machine was no longer affected by the light of the blue moon. It wasn't affected by the light in the first place! All this time, she was miserably looking down. She hardly came out of the mirror chamber. Starlight brought her meals. Today, she brought her Lutz, but not feeling like putting everything back together. Still working all night? Jester turned her sleepy head to face her. No, just to look up Eddie. Yes, sorry at the thought of her frazzled mane and baggy eyes. So, you were working? Jester rubbed her eyes and straightened her mane. It looks, she answered, but there's only transports to the dimension of Cantonade High. I don't know how to make it transfer us to any of the other worlds. This happened by chance. Why would you want to go back? Asked Starlight. I don't think I would like to run to Kairi again. She was still infatuated with Kairi, not seeing how hot she truly was. Twilight felt the same way. I can't deny. She had been a very poor friend to Davis, but she did help us, gave us shelter. Besides that, there are so many other worlds I didn't know of. I'd love to explore them all again. Now she's starting to sound like her old self. What Starlight had to smile about. She wasn't only one. A lot of players were starting to feel like themselves again. With Vax flying about, Ruby was baking cakes and playing with the twins again. Yang was back to hauling apples. She was now hauling a wagon of apples down the road to Plainfield, but she stopped at Keyleth to bring her a pailful. Here you go, Keyleth. Thank you, Yang, replied Keyleth. Angel hopped up onto Yang and gave a simple dandelion as payment. Oh, that's sweet of you. Angel blushed. I repeat, I know I prefer my Angel to be a brat, but I can still totally see a powerful druid telling a bunny like Angel to calm down. But then again, as I've always said, and it's always a catchphrase of mine, druids for the win. We're fantastic. Just as Applejack was about to pull out, I'm sorry, my mind went to places. She saw Vex walking down the path, but instead of looking straight ahead, she was looking up at the sky. Bonk! She walked into a tree. Keyleth and Yang runs over to help her up. Are you okay, Vex? Quite. Vex simply responded and looked back at the sky. What are you looking at? Ace, Yang. I'm looking for that Spike chap. He deserves an arrow to the face. Once he got from the Dark Zone, it felt that she was one of the few who could actually see Spike's Dark Angel naturally without the aid of magic. Obviously, she hadn't let things quite be yet, much to the heir's dismay. Vex, Yang said, look, I know how you would feel. We all don't miss Spike, and we all feel bad. Okay. None of us do, actually. Forgive me for that. I just can't believe Spike would really act that way. Normally he would, but this is Mike and I, so... Well, Keela said, and now Spike seemed pretty mad at us before he died. Very all that made her stomach turn with guilt over her own part in hurting Spike. Susie Mansky pulled to herself. What are you saying? We should just forget him? Leaving that dark peasant to rot for all time? And if you are Mikan, you say yes. But if you're anything like me, who believes that people shouldn't be rotting in hell like that, then you'll be saying no. You'll be helping them. But remember, according to Mikan, if you see a bunch of people rotting in a dungeon, you should let them be. After all, you mess with them, that could lead to consequences. Remember, if you see a sick dog in the road, don't call the animal shelter. Let him die. As he headed off, still looking up at the sky, crossed another tree not wanting in front of her. I'll just find a different way to this, she grumbled. Near she could tell she was on the verge of a mental breakdown. It was understandable, but Vex needed help. Drew rounded up the others, and they all met up at Friendship Palace. Yasa was presiding over the meeting as Jester was napping the room. Poor thing, said Yasa. I checked on her again. She was fine on the floor. I didn't even touch her once. That's fine, Dandy, said Yang. But what are we going to do about Rarity? She's really going over the edge. Well, I'm sure not, said Ruby. Cookie? She didn't hold up a tray of cookies. That all looked like Spike's face when he was alive and not a dark angel. The cookies still tasted good anyway. Well, it's not like we could go back in time and get him back anyway, said Keyleth. Vaxen gasped and almost took on a cookie. That's it. Keyleth, you're a genius. Keyleth blinked once. What? What are you talking about? Vax made his story short. I was in Yuasa's world. That was 500 years ago. All the years got your idea. It was possible to fix things. You get the mirror gate working again. You can warp to Yuasa's dimension and work for things there. Just one thing, said Yasa. I don't know if that's possible. Remember, we were all transported through the gate by a strange stroke of fate. She's right, you know, said Ruby. But we can still make it so Spike never dies. That'd be great. Shouldn't we talk about the Twilight with this? Said Yang. Yes, but not just now, said Yasa. So they all heard a big crash outside. Flew to the window, saying where they saw Vex running about like a wild pony. As they were chasing something she couldn't see. Oh, Spike! Spike was minding his own business, collecting dark aura as always. When Vex saw him, it gave chase. Get away from me, Spike demanded, but Rarity continued chasing down. Suddenly Spike realized, what the heck am I doing anyway? Scared to a halt, causing Rarity to rush out of control. Passing straight through him, she screamed and crashed into a bunch of shrubs. You just know Mikan's enjoying this. Typing with one hand. Other hand down his pants. But can we not talk about this? Different eyes, startled voice fell out of their ears. Spike just folded his arms and turned away from her. There's nothing you could say I want to hear or make a difference. Leave me and the Dark Angels alone. Hey, Spike, I know you're an idiot, but, come here, this'll help you. Fly to somewhere else! If you don't want to be there, if you don't want Rarity to chase you, go somewhere else! Fly to the Dragonlands! Equestria is a big place! Well, the reason why you're there is because Micah just wants to torture Rarity, which, sadly, is not a good plot point! Spike returned to the Dark Zone, looking very dour. He released his aura to regroup the others. I believe Rarity's not off my case. No, we are trying to meditate on what? Nobody knows. Sorry. No, I suggested, perhaps next time you remain out of sight those who can see you. Then you can roam about freely. Based off his knowledge of memory centuries ago, Princess Suyu never learned the Dark Zone or anything connected. Obviously, Kagami and Iyasa never told of it. It was forgotten in time. Many times I've seen the princess. She lived well, her life was blissful with no further demon attacks. Seeing her husband died peacefully when the time came, years succeeded by their offspring. He stopped, felt very sad, wishing he would have been himself and the princess. But that was impossible even when he was alive, he knew that. Hey dude, said Beast Boy, thinking what he was saying. He knew Tara was pregnant with his child, but he told Tara to comfort Jason. He didn't care. And there was nothing you could do about it anyway. I can't care for the kid. Because you're lazy. My lord, you seem uneased. Something wrong? Erebus was silent for a moment. I always believed anything is possible. Throughout the many eons I existed here, feared it as well. I wish things only to remain as they are. We dark angels remain unscathed, undisturbed, and just left to our own ways. Cause darn if we're not lazy assholes! And we're disturbed beyond reason? You would think you would have more compassion or, be a bigger man about it, but you ain't. As we shall soon see.